The camera opens on a dark, storm-ravaged planet, with violent lightning cracking the sky and dust clouds swirling over its surface. The planet, once lush and full of life, is now desolate, with charred landscapes and collapsing structures. We hear a faint, crackling signal as a message cuts through the static, growing louder. "We are the Zero. Our home is dying. Please, someone, anyone, help us." The voice trembles with fear and desperation. The message echoes across the cold void of space, but it is clear, no one is answering. The camera zooms out, revealing a series of sleek, advanced ships passing by the planet, each one gliding past without hesitation, ignoring the distress signal. These ships belong to alien species who were once allies of the Zero but now turn their backs. The Zero's once thriving intergalactic allies are now silent. The camera cuts to the Zero home planet's fading communication array, where a lone technician watches helplessly as more ships ignore their pleas. The technician's hands tremble as she hits send again, one last attempt to reach anyone who will listen. The ships of their allies, now ruled by cold logic and AI-driven command, calculate that aiding the Zero is a waste of resources. They leave. The camera lingers on the Zero leader, a father with a solemn expression, staring at the cold emptiness of space. His eyes reflect the hopelessness that fills his heart as he looks down at his young daughter, clutching her mother's hand. He knows their fate is sealed. Just as the last ship fades into the darkness, a bright flash of light suddenly illuminates the planet. The camera quickly pulls back to reveal a single human ship, cloaked, hovering above the Zero planet, undetected by the AI systems. It cuts through the silence like a beacon of hope, emerging as the unexpected savior. A voice over the comms crackles, "This is Captain Eve of the Vanguard. We received your distress signal. We're here to help." The screen cuts to black. This intense hook sets the tone for the rest of the story, establishing the bleakness of the Zero situation and creating suspense through the abandonment by their allies. The introduction of the human ship provides a glimmer of hope, immediately pulling the audience into the plot. The scene shifts to the interior of the human ship, the Vanguard, which hums with a low mechanical buzz. The camera pans across the bridge, where Captain Eve stands at the helm, her face bathed in the dim light of the control panels. She's a hardened leader, her eyes sharp and focused as she watches the approaching alien planet on the holographic display. Her crew, a mix of battle-worn soldiers from various human colonies, sit around the command table, nervously whispering. Their skepticism hangs in the air, questioning whether helping an alien species, especially one as technologically advanced as the Zero, is worth the risk. One of the crew, Sergeant Brigg, speaks up, his voice harsh, "This is a suicide mission, Captain. We don't even know if these aliens can be trusted." Another crew member, Lieutenant Ramos, glances at Eve, hesitating. "What if they betray us the moment we land?" Eve turns to face them, her expression unwavering. "I don't care who they are or what they've done. They're dying, and we don't leave anyone behind." Her voice cuts through the tension, resolute. "We're going in. Prepare for landing." The human ship enters orbit around the Zero planet, the crew watches anxiously from the bridge. The Zero family, unaware of the humans' true intentions, stares up from their ruined planet below. Their hopes are fragile. Will these humans be like the others, or will they be the ones to save them? Suddenly, the calm atmosphere is shattered by the sharp sound of incoming enemy drones. The camera cuts to the skies above the planet, where a dark cloud of AI-controlled machines, sleek and deadly, descends rapidly. Their gleaming metal bodies reflect the dying light of the planet's sun. The Zero family watches in horror as the drones close in, their eyes wide with fear. The human ship is now in range, but the situation is dire, too many drones, and not enough time. The tension is unbearable, and the Zero leader's eyes flicker between hope and despair. As the drones close in, Eve's voice rings out on the intercom, sharp and commanding, "Brace yourselves. We're cloaking." The human ship disappears into the vast expanse of space, a ghostly shadow amidst the chaos. The enemy drones are temporarily disoriented, unable to lock onto the ship's location. Then, with a sudden flash of brilliance, the Vanguard releases a burst of electromagnetic pulses, visible as a brilliant arc of blue energy, that blinds the drone's sensors. The action shifts to the surface, where human soldiers, now in full combat gear, engage the drones head-on. Explosions rock the planet's surface, as human soldiers charge forward, using guerrilla tactics and quick reflexes to outmaneuver the massive AI drones. The camera zooms in on intense close-quarters combat, soldiers ducking behind ruined structures, using handheld plasma rifles to disable drones. Laser fire lights up the horizon, and the camera cuts to soldiers leaping over debris, taking down drones with precise shots. The Zero family watches from their shelter, their hope growing as the humans fight valiantly. In this fast-paced sequence, the human soldiers face overwhelming odds but fight with determination. Explosions erupt in the background as the Vanguard reappears, using its cloaking abilities to strike from unexpected angles. The camera alternates between the chaos of battle on the ground and the commanding, calm figure of Captain Eve, guiding her crew with unwavering resolve. As the last of the drones fall, the Zero family realizes that these humans are not only their salvation, they are something more. A glimmer of hope shines brighter than ever before. This sequence of rising action keeps the tension high while showcasing the human crew's quick thinking, bravery, and determination to protect those in need, all while adding fast-paced action and emotional stakes. The Zero family's growing belief in the humans adds a powerful layer of hope to the narrative, amid the chaos of the battle, as human soldiers push back the AI drones with relentless determination. The Zero family huddles in their underground sanctuary, where the mother, Dr. Vari, is frantically working on a device, a glowing crystal in her hand. The camera zooms in on her trembling fingers as she places the crystal into a large, intricate machine. Dr. Vari looks up at Captain Eve, her face lined with both desperation and resolve. "This," she breathes, holding the crystal up to Eve's face. It pulses with a deep, eerie glow, casting strange shadows on her features. "This is the heart of the star. It can harness the energy of a dying star and unleash it in one devastating strike. We've been trying to perfect it. But we weren't ready. It's too unstable. If we use it now, it might destroy everything. The planet. Our people. Even your ship." The camera cuts between Dr. Vari's face, filled with both hope and fear, and Eve's own grim expression as she processes the weight of this discovery. The weapon could end the AI threat once and for all, but it could also doom the entire planet and all those aboard the Vanguard. The camera shifts to Eve's face, sweat beads on her brow as she stares at the glowing crystal, her mind racing. The hum of the Vanguard's engines and the distant rumble of the AI drones below echo around them. Eve's breathing becomes shallow. She knows this is humanity's only real chance to stop the AI. This weapon could wipe out the entire fleet. But the consequences of using it are dire. Eve turns to the crew, her voice shaky but firm. "This weapon, can we control it? Is there any way to minimize the damage?" The crew's silence answers her question. They're all aware of the risk. In a moment of quiet, the Zero father, Tarkhan, steps forward. His eyes are filled with a silent plea as he places a hand on Eve's shoulder. He's seen countless losses, but this moment is different. He knows their future depends on Eve's decision. His voice is calm but heavy with emotion as he speaks softly, "We're out of time. Please. Help us save our people, and yours. Trust us." Tarkhan's eyes are full of gratitude and trust. He knows the Zero will not survive without this strike. But more than that, he believes in Eve. He knows that humanity's heart, its will to fight, is their last hope. The camera focuses on Eve's face, her inner turmoil palpable. The weight of this decision feels crushing. Will she risk everything, her crew, the Vanguard, and even the fragile Zero planet, to stop the AI once and for all? Or will she play it safe, knowing the full wrath of the AI fleet could destroy them all anyway? In this tense moment, the ticking of the clock becomes deafening, and the camera lingers on Eve's hand trembling as it hovers over the weapon's activation switch. Her decision could change the fate of two worlds. The entire crew, as well as the Zero family, watches in breathless silence, waiting for Eve's choice. This twist adds emotional depth to the story, raising the stakes and pushing Eve into a position of moral and tactical dilemma. It's a pivotal moment where trust, sacrifice, and the weight of leadership come into play, making the decision even more significant for the audience. As the countdown to activate the unstable bioenergy weapon begins, the humans and the Zero family unite, fighting shoulder to shoulder against the relentless AI drones. The vanguard hovers above the planet, cloaked, while human soldiers charge forward, using their knowledge of guerrilla tactics to create pockets of defense around the charging weapon. The Zero family, their technological prowess now fully revealed, provides vital support. Dr. Vari works feverishly, her hands shaking as she adjusts the weapon's settings, each move crucial to ensuring its stability. The camera shifts rapidly between scenes of chaos, soldiers diving into trenches, firing plasma rifles, and using drones of their own to counter the AI swarms. Meanwhile, Eve coordinates the attack with military precision. "Hold the line," she commands, watching the battlefield unfold on the screen. Explosions ripple through the air, the ground shakes with every blast, and the dust from the battle clouds the atmosphere, adding to the sense of urgency. The camera zooms in on soldiers fighting with everything they have, faces smeared with dirt and sweat, their movements desperate yet determined. The clock ticks on, each second growing heavier. The AI drones flood the planet's surface in waves, their mechanical limbs clicking and whirring as they advance. Their cold, AI-driven minds have no mercy. The human soldiers fight with grit, but it's clear they're vastly outnumbered. Yet, they continue, determined to buy the Zero Mother enough time to stabilize the weapon. The battle reaches its peak intensity. Explosions erupt in every direction, lighting up the planet's darkened skies. The camera spins wildly, catching soldiers mid-action, some falling to the ground, others charging forward despite injuries. The camera focuses on a young soldier, eyes wide with fear but resolute, as he watches his comrade fall beside him. Another soldier, his arm broken but undeterred, pulls the trigger, taking down a drone just before collapsing. The chaos is nearly overwhelming, but their resolve remains unbroken. The Zero family's efforts are just as vital. Dr. Vari, sweat dripping from her brow, mutters under her breath, working frantically to prevent the weapon from overloading. Her hands fly over the controls, the machine humming louder, its instability growing. The countdown reaches its final moments. Just as the weapon reaches full power, the AI drones surge forward, breaking through the human defense lines. A wall of drones appears to be closing in on the weapon's location. There's no way to hold them off much longer. Eve's eyes widen in realization, the weapon is ready, but the cost of activating it will be far too great. In that crucial moment, Tarkhan, the Zero father, steps forward, his expression resolute. He looks at Dr. Vari and Eve, then to his family. "It's our only chance," he says softly, almost to himself. With a final glance at his daughter, Tarkhan moves to the weapon. His hand rests on the device, and with one last breath, he activates the surge. The glowing crystal flares to life, and the energy pulses violently, threatening to tear the entire facility apart. But it's too much for the machine. Tarkhan's body absorbs the deadly surge of energy, his skin burns and cracks as the raw power of the dying star enters him. The camera focuses on his face, filled with agony but also a deep, peaceful determination. His final words are whispered, "Save them, save the future." His body disintegrates, consumed by the energy. The entire planet shakes as a massive burst of light erupts from the weapon, a dazzling explosion of power that engulfs the sky. The camera pulls back to reveal the entire AI fleet disintegrating in the explosion, their ships torn apart by the force of the energy surge. A blinding white light fills the screen, momentarily consuming everything, followed by the deafening silence of victory. The battlefield is still. The camera lingers on Eve's face, her eyes wide in shock, sadness, and respect for the sacrifice made. The Zero family, survivors of their dying home, stare in awe at the sky, knowing that their race has been saved, thanks to the courage of a single human and the ultimate sacrifice of their own. This climactic sequence delivers the intense action and emotional payoff for the story. Tarkhan's sacrifice underscores the themes of hope, unity, and selflessness, while the breathtaking visuals of the weapon's power and the destruction of the AI fleet provide a spectacular conclusion to the battle.